Here's the head from the Goblin Legion builder. DorkLair! Welcome to another DorkLair action figure review. Today I'm taking a look at the Mythic Legion's All-Stars 5 Plus Swigg the Goblin. Diving right into this one, here we have the Alchemist of Gob Hollow, who has engineered potions to try to transform and make goblins enhanced, including goblins with impenetrable skin, goblins that can fly, although I guess, according to the bio, these potions don't always work. So we'll see if we're going to get a flying goblin at some point in the Mythic Legion's line. Me? I hope so. And so here's a look at this. Being from the All-Stars 5 Plus wave, we had these 4 brand new characters, mostly reuse, but they all had like a brand new head. Of course, we also had the heads pack, and we had the horse in there as new items. But this is a really cool head sculpt. So it's like a hooded, wizardly goblin wizard. If anybody out there plays Magic the Gathering, is one of my all-time favorite Magic the Gathering cards. And to me, like, so far, this is the goblin wizard of Mythic Legions right here, because it just fits that sort of wizard alchemist theme. So I like that head sculpt quite a bit. I mean, I could see someone doing a green goblin from Spider-Man kit bash pretty quickly and easily with this head sculpt right here. So very cool stuff. I love the new armor color. It's this bronze weathered sort of color. We do have these sort of flat browns throughout. So like this part of the arm, the elbow pieces, the upper legs, and the pauldrons are sort of a flat brown. I do wish they were more like leathery looking like this. Like there's a little black wash in the belt, and a little bit of a wash probably would have added to those brown parts a little bit more, because they contrast a little bit with the, with the great weathering of the coppery bronze armor. And then we've got wired cloth goods. I think this is the first time we've seen wired cloth goods in a goblin. But overall, man, this is a really cool figure. Belt on top. It's a free-floating thing, but, you line it up and it looks really cool. Got weapon storage on that belt. Something that's not often seen with the goblins is this particular belt underneath, like this skirt piece here. This is usually like the elves, so it's pretty cool to see that on a goblin. This feels like a more refined goblin, a little uppity and perhaps a little too fancy pants for most of the other goblins. I mean, you've got that real shininess to the skirt right there. And so really cool looking goblin right here with Swigg. I should also mention the hands. So this uses orc hands. These are the larger 1.0 sized hands that came out in the Aether wave. So we've got larger orc hands, but they work for goblins because goblins are pretty deformed kinds of characters. And then here's a zoomed out shot of Swigg, who to the top of the ears there looks like he stands right at 5.5 inches. Kicking the comparisons off with a couple goblins, my 2 favorite goblins. On the left is Thwick, on the right is Nubnik. And then we have King Noglin himself on the left with Gonks on the right. And then 2 more Mythic Legions figures. I wanted to put Alithia in here so that you could see the difference between the purples. Some people have asked whether or not these 2 skirts and the cloth goods were the same colors. They're definitely different colors. Alithia's is much more plum than the very bright purple of Swigg. And on the right, we have a head-swapped Xylernian Guard. Exploring some other lines, on the left is the Mezco 112 Collective Conan the Barbarian, and on the right is a kit-bashed Valaverse Action Force Swarm Trooper. Here we have a Marvel Legends Green Goblin retro figure and a Ramen Toys Quicksilver from Silverhawks. Next up, we have a couple 7-inch figures. On the left is a Masterverse kit-bashed He-Man with a custom head sculpt by Monster Machine Creations, painted by Eric Miller. And on the right, the NECA Ultimate War Duke from Dungeons & Dragons. Moving on to accessories, he's got the 2 shoulder pauldrons there. Of course, this belt is already on the figure, but it could function as an accessory because he could operate with or without the belt. And I'll take the cloth goods and stuff apart in a minute to show you how he looks without all of that stuff. Comes with this wooden staff right here with some red wraps, some gold banding, and a blue topper. And this piece actually comes apart. So if you have any of these other compatible accessories, you can swap things together with this piece. Also comes with the bone handle cleaver type sword. And there's some nice little details in that bone handle. Comes with the fancy dagger and sheath that actually functions, and it has a clip so that you can put it right on the belt. And also comes with a pair of horizontally hinged gesturing hands, maybe could be used as gripping hands for larger items. And then here's a look at the figure with some of the bulk removed. I took the shoulder pauldrons off, I took the bigger belt piece off, and then the back skirt, so that you can just get a look at what this goblin body offers in terms of kit bashing or head swaps or other types of options like that. But before we get into swaps, let's talk about articulation. So the head is on a ball joint. There's nothing limiting the range of motion in the head. Of course, we have a hinged arm that can come up to a T-pose. That will swing all the way around. There's a single jointed elbow that can bring the arm just up past 90 degrees. The twist above the elbow. Gauntlet can twist. The wrist can twist. And then there's a hinge at the wrist. This is a 2.0 style figure, so it's got that upper torso ball joint. And he can hunch forward, hunch back, and kind of cock side to side. The waist is just a simple twist. Hip is on a hinge and swivel, so that can kick forward, backwards. You can twist it at the top of the thigh. Single jointed knee. There's a twist below that knee there. There's a twist at the ankle, which can point down and up, and then that has a rocker for wider stances. So overall articulation, it's a goblin. They move pretty well. They are on the slimmer body with a little more range, a little more agile on these 2.0 style Mythic Legions figures. All right, as we get into swaps, something interesting about this figure is that the neck is a conversion neck. So it takes a 2.0 style goblin body or a goblin neck and converts it to a 1.0 ball at the top, which means the Swigg head is a 1.0 compatible head. And I'll do some swaps with that later on some 1.0 style figures. But for now, in order to put a goblin head like Noobnik's head, we got to put a goblin neck from another goblin figure. And so we pop Noobnik's head on there. And I also put Noobnik's loincloth here as well. So that's a good look at what this body can do in terms of just being like a standard goblin and not your specific character Swigg. Here's how that bronze armor looks with that Malafar head. Here's the head from the Goblin Legion builder. And then here's the Swigg head on a 1.0 style orc, which is basically the orc arms and legs on the scaphoid body. Unfortunately, those purples don't match, but that would have been a cool look if they had. And just to confirm, the 1.0 head does fit on that neck peg on the Swigg figure. One last swap that was suggested by Joe Vasapolo of Four Horsemen Studios. He had this in the Mythic Legions Cabal Facebook group, and that is to take the skirt piece and use it as a cape or scarf. And I think this looks sick. I may actually end up just going with this look for Swigg. I think this is almost better. Maybe not better, but it's equally as cool to have that option right there. Or maybe get two Swiggs and have both the skirt and the cape on there. Almost full-blown wizard-like look to it would be pretty sweet. I've seen some people say this is now their favorite goblin, and it's up there for me. I do love the new sort of coppery bronze body, some new parts added that were never really used on goblins before. First goblin with cloth goods, very cool, a lot of character, great character design too. Anyway, thanks for watching my video, and until next time, may the force be with you.